I think so far in the 5th year anniversary, Dragon Ball Legends has been smashing out of the park. We've had awesome units, including 3 LF units at this point. We've had lots of brand new events and lots of ways to get Chrono Crystals as well. So it has been absolutely unreal, and they have carried on as well, because jumping over to the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter, we have had a brand new hint as well, possibly for part 3. So what we're going to do is discuss what we can have for part 3 in this video, so make sure not to go anywhere and let's get into it. So as I mentioned, for this video we're going to be using the official Dragon Ball Legends Twitter account. We've got screenshots and other websites and things like that as well, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and also let me know your thoughts on everything that we have a look through in this video down below in the comments as well. So without further ado, let's get into it and have a little look at this hint. So scrolling down, came out about 4 hours from the time of recording this, and this is the hint. So once again, let me know down below what you think this might be. We're going to get into that in this video just to bring it up a little bit more. There we go, so that is it, a little bit bigger. So just before we jump into that, I do want to point out that the 5th year anniversary, just judging roughly from these anniversary coins, is ending roughly around the 26th of July. So looking at the calendar, that is 3.5 weeks away. So the actual Ultra banners usually are around 2 weeks long. So I'm expecting, it's very unusual that they've dropped this hint, because at this point, we've only just had going back to these banners, the superhero banners. They were dropped about a week ago. So we can expect that nothing will happen probably within the next week, but the hints usually are within a couple of days prior. So I don't know whether they're expecting to do a reveals and stuff soon, or whether they're actually going to do a release soon, because we usually, from the part 2 banners, we usually have about 3 weeks until the next part 3, or from previous anniversaries. And if it is an Ultra like we expect, that's generally the format they do go with, then we can expect it to be released somewhat 2 weeks prior to the end of the anniversary. So going from the 26th, 2 weeks would be the 12th of July. So I'm expecting a release roughly around then with a reveals and stuff, but we will see, because it's quite early for this hint to be released, in my personal opinion. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down below when we're going to see part 3, but let's get into what I particularly think this hint is. So just quickly then, we've got a grey sky with a light shining down, and then there's an orange bottom with the light having a sort of reflect down here, and you can actually see very closely, so what we can assume is an infinite sign. Someone actually on Ruan Antunes, who is a really good subscriber, actually had it a little bit more focused, so we can see it here, and it is, like I said, it looks like an infinity sign, but you can argue that it's just 2 circles next to each other or something along those lines. So like I said, I think it's pretty self-explanatory what this is, and I do want to highlight that I think this is the first Ultra unit that we've actually had a hint for, because I'm assuming they're going to carry on with the same format. We'll have an Ultra unit in part 3, and usually the hints aren't for the main characters, they're for a side unit. Now when we get Ultra units, it's usually just the Ultra that's a new unit on that banner. So I still don't think this hint is directly for the Ultra unit, but gives us a bit of an idea at the very least. I personally think, and I wouldn't blame them, because they've been mixing up the 5th year anniversary quite a bit to make it a lot better than what the 4th year anniversary was. And with an anniversary, it is probably perfect time, as we've been asking for a long time, to actually mix up what the Ultra banners finally look like. So I wouldn't put it past them to actually put an Ultra unit with a new unit on there as well. Maybe a 1% Sparking or an Extreme unit or something along those lines. So I personally think this hint is hinting towards a 1% Sparking. But like I said, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. So getting into it then, I do think that it is self-explanatory. Like I said, I think it's more relating towards the Future Saga, the Goku Black Future Saga, and the things that I would relate this to. I've got a couple of screenshots here. Well, there's a couple of things you can actually relate it to. So this is the screenshot of when Future Zamasu first ever comes about. when he's revealed somewhat in the Goku Black arc, and it somewhat looks a bit like this. Granted, the colouring is a little bit different, but it opens up from the skies with a light shining down, and we can actually see, if we go to the next picture here, when he's actually coming down, we do have a full light coming down onto, well, the building basically, where Rose was also standing here. So I do think you could probably argue that it is something to do with that. Or if that doesn't convince you enough, I would also say having a little look at some other screenshots. Maybe not so much this one, I got it up anyway, but it sort of matches the color scheme a little bit more with the dark sky there. This is when the merged Zamasu was actually defeated by the Sword of Hope, and then just after he goes up into the sky and then looks like this, where he's just basically his face covers the whole earth, and we got blasts coming down from him into the earth. Once again, I think this fits the color scheme a little bit more. If we go over to here, so you've got the actual redness on the floor with the actual beams where they came down, matches the same color of the beams. We got the light coming down, which matches future Zamasu coming down. The sky is more like where he first goes up, like I said, which is, where is it? If we go like this, yeah, so it's here. So it matches a bit more here. You could also argue another part, looking at it, where you've got the light from Vegito Blue. So yes, I do think it is hinting towards a bit more of an Ultra Vegito Blue, where he first transforms, where they use the Patara earrings, and the blast comes up, and then he jumps up onto this rock, and then turns Super Saiyan Blue. You can argue that light, because the color scheme's a lot better, but you don't have the red, really. You've got the darkness in the top, and then you've got the light coming up as well. And what you could also say, because remember, like I mentioned, we've also got this infinity sign. You could argue it is matching the Pataras here, because it looks quite similar, to be fair, two circles next to each other, but I personally don't think it's that. We will see it anyway. Going back into here, so that's what I think this is hinting towards. Like I said, let me know down in the comments what you personally think it is. I think it's hinting towards the future saga. This is probably the light from Zamasu coming down, and now the actual infinity sign that we've been on about. What I personally think it is, because I've also got up the Dragon Ball fandom wiki page. Now, when Zamasu is destroyed by the Sword of Hope, and then he goes into this sort of form where he's in the sky and things like this, this is actually known as Infinite Zamasu. So he's not actually got a body, he's just in the sky. As we can see from the Dragon Ball fandom here, he is Infinite Zamasu, which would actually meet this infinite sign. So that, like I said, I think that adds a little bit to what I think this is. I think it's the sky of the Infinite Zamasu. So I personally think this is hinting towards a 1% merged Zamasu that possibly even uses the same sort of mechanic as the Magenta or not Zamasu, the Tapion, where they die and possibly he'll go up to the sky and cause damage that way. I'm not really sure, we'll see, but that is personally what I think it is, which, if that is hinting towards the 1% sparking that I think they're going to do on the Ultra banner, because I think it is about time that they mix up these banners, if I'd be completely honest, then that would naturally lead into the actual Ultra unit on that banner, which I personally do think it is Vegito Blue. The fandom has been asking for it for a very long time. A lot of people have suggested it, a lot of people have theorized it. Like I said, the fandom have been expecting it, and it would make, in my personal opinion, it'd make this 5th year anniversary probably the best anniversary that, well, it's probably already the best anniversary that we've had, but it would just be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? And so that's what my theory is. I think this is the 1% merged Zamasu in some way, shape or form, or Zamasu in some way, shape or form. And the actual main banner unit will be an Ultra Vegito Blue. So we've already gone over a little bit of, if that is the case, when will this be released? I think we'll probably see a reveals and stuff next week. at some point, maybe late next week, and then I'll reset around the 12th, because it does fit on the reset. I think that's when we're going to see the banner, which will mean that it's about 2.5 weeks since the part 2 to part 3, which is a lot better pacing. This whole anniversary's had better pacing than the 4th year anniversary. We've had lots of awesome units come as well, lots of events like I mentioned at the start, and lots of ways to get CC, and we've also got 2 more, I believe it's 2 more weeks of the raids. Let's have a little look. Okay, so I've actually jumped over into the Dragon Ball Legends game with the news and things, because at the moment we've got the Beast Gohan raid, which goes on until the 5th of July, which goes up until basically from the time of filming this, the next Wednesday, which is a couple of days. This is the Saturday. And then outside of that, going into the non-stop raids, if you had completed all the raids and got all the daily things and got all these medals so far, we are in week 5 of the raids, so we've got 6 and 7, so we've got 2 more weeks of these raids, which is quite interesting actually. And I also, going back to the actual, where is it, there we go, so these banners were actually released on the 21st, so the 21st was about a week and a half ago. So if we looked at the actual 12th, like I've been mentioning, then that would be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 full weeks from these banners being dropped, which is kind of what they like to do. But we'll see. Maybe they make this pacing a little bit quicker, because we've only got 2 more weeks of raids. So you never know. Possibly, it could even be coming in the next week, to be honest. Not items, let's go back to news. So the current raid will end on this Wednesday, and then we've got 2 more weeks. So yeah, the current raid will end on the Wednesday, so I don't know whether they're going to do another superhero raid or whether they're going to make it more Future Saga. We will see, because there's only a couple more days, and I'd be very, very surprised if they don't do a reveals and stuff for the actual Ultra unit. I would be quite surprised, to be honest. But you never know, maybe they're going to mix it up just a little bit. But that is my thoughts on this hint. Granted, this video's gone a little bit longer than expected, but let me know down below in the comments exactly what your thoughts are on this hint, what we're going to get for the actual Dragon Ball Legends Part 3, and also when as well. Let me know down in the comments. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And there are all my thoughts on this hint so far. I'll be reporting on any other information that we have as well, so make sure to hit that notification bell. But that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Ciao.